Mr. President, do you think Elon Musk is a threat to U.S. national security? And should the U.S., and with the tools you have, investigate his joint acquisition of Twitter with foreign governments, which include the Saudis?
I think that Elon Musk's cooperation and/or technical relationships with other countries is worthy of being looked at. Whether or not he is doing anything inappropriate, I'm not suggesting that. I'm suggesting that it's worth being looked at. But that's all I'll say.
Allow me to explain as we go down the road of the investigations regarding Elon Musk. I wasn't even going to mention the fact that they were suing SpaceX over not hiring asylum seekers earlier, which is really the biggest story. But the latest one creates the trend. The definitive fact that the Department of Justice is being weaponized by the Democrats. Why? We're going to explore that as well. The government is now investigating Tesla offering to build Elon Musk a glass house. Yeah, that's right. $50,000 worth of glass that Elon and Tesla have both categorically denied exists, that they have any plans to build a house, is being investigated for a man worth $250 billion. So let's put that into perspective in terms of how deep the administration is looking for crumbs to agitate and to distract Elon so that he can't put his time into a free speech platform. So with that in mind, we go back to the initial where Biden's Department of Justice was suing SpaceX for not hiring refugees. In other words, it demands SpaceX hire fewer Americans. Doesn't really go along with the Biden ethos, but hey, national security on one hand requires that rocket companies hire Americans. You have to have a green card or U.S. citizenship for a rocket company, a defense manufacturer, to hire you. And what do you think that SpaceX is? They are a rocket company. So this definitely reeks of political motivation. And you have to ask yourself why this is the case. The main thing that Democrats, the Biden administration, don't like was the fact that Elon, like I showed you at the beginning with that clip, turned Twitter from a Democratic psyop into an actual free speech platform where they don't have total control, where they can't tell Twitter to censor Alex Berenson, who was a noted critic of the vaccine. Maybe Big Pharma's control over Twitter and the Democratic Party and China's as well is waning, and thus more people are being attracted to Twitter, and their influence, their ability to hypnotize you, to brainwash, is diminishing. Wouldn't China love to send refugees, asylum seekers, to the United States and have SpaceX forced to hire them for fear of more Department of Justice lawsuits against them? And then maybe, just maybe, they'll find a way to steal the massive trade secrets that SpaceX has been working on for years and deliver them to the Communist Party that controls China. Doesn't this open the door for China to insert its spies into our biggest technological companies, into the most top secret information, military or otherwise? Don't you think that Boeing and Lockheed Martin are going to be now forced to hire refugees based on this lawsuit so that they can potentially avoid it? The administration, apparently in April, created a new decree. Bear in mind, this is not a law passed by Congress. This is legislating from the executive branch, which is what we are not supposed to do according to the Constitution of the United States. But since when does the Biden administration really care about the Constitution? It's obvious based on the fact that they tried to overrule the Supreme Court multiple times in terms of student loans, in terms of the eviction moratorium that they continue to expend, even though the Supreme Court said no, 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 no. The Biden administration does not care about the checks and balances. The Democrats only care about power. But with this clarification, American companies could hire asylum seekers, except for the fact that, once again, SpaceX deals with top secret technology that otherwise was forbidden. So do you think that the Biden administration would have sued SpaceX if they had hired asylum seekers? The answer, ding, 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 you are violating potential national security interests. You are potentially giving secret technology to people who merely came here and applied because they had asylum, and you hired them despite the fact that we have all these laws. But now, because SpaceX didn't hire them, of course they're going to hit them with the opposite side of the club, because it's the same thing that happened during communism in the Soviet Union, when Stalin said, "Show me the man and I'll show you the crime." This is the same tool that this administration is exerting here. This is not blind justice. This is going after the man who created an avenue for others to speak, to have their voices heard, that previously was being actively suppressed by the administration. The psyops of the CIA and the deep state that were allowed to percolate and gain traction on Twitter, whereas real condemnations of the administration of the vaccine mandates were called deplorable, of course, and not allowed to exist on the platform, and thus suppressed. So, for example, in terms of suppression, even though Twitter is now a free speech platform, that doesn't necessarily mean that Facebook and YouTube are. Twitter is privately owned. These are publicly owned companies, and they don't want to be smacked by the hand of government. So you are unlikely to see this on YouTube, which is not at all a free speech platform, that stymies political speech and suppresses channels like mine. By the way, please join me at Rumble, rumble.com. The link is in the description. And it's not even that I necessarily blame them automatically. It's like I said, they don't want to get whacked by the Biden administration. They don't want to deal with lawsuits, so they might just say it's easier just to suppress. Let the baby have its bottle. But then you get in the habit of it, and the baby grows into a giant that gets to control the dialogue that you see out there. What the administration is doing is essentially hanging the sword of Damocles over Twitter, over all of the other social media platforms, and you don't want it to drop on your head. This is coercion by the federal government. And here is the kicker. The administration has stated that going back from 2008 to 2022, SpaceX is governed by the current clarification, and that fines and back pay are owed to every single applicant that SpaceX didn't hire, despite the fact that at the time they were not legally able to hire them at all. This is in violation of the ex post facto law, which decrees that if a law was not on the books when you took a certain action that is now violative of the law, they cannot prosecute you nor condemn your actions. But that doesn't matter to the Biden administration, because they make up the rules as they go. They throw them against the wall. They see what sticks, and then they build on top of that wall of evil, that wall of totalitarian control. So just so you know, that means that each Chinese asylum seeker, Russian asylum seeker, Mexican asylum seeker who could have been hired at SpaceX, which only hires, by the way, about 1 in 500 applicants, that because they actually have super high standards and lots of people that want to work on Elon's team, that they are now owed back pay for all of those years. Is this not the most ridiculous lawsuit? But it doesn't matter, because they're trying to distract Elon. They're trying to slow him down. They're trying also to send out a warning signal to other companies not to F with the Biden administration. And so, yes, the Biden administration is absolutely actively investigating Elon and anybody else who stands up against them. Free speech in America is attempted to be curtailed by the Democrats. And guess who benefits from all this? The Chinese. As we implode internally, as Biden and his cronies separate us and cut up the strands that unite us, as they employ a two-tier justice system, you're going to see many companies shirking getting involved, standing on the sidelines, because they know what the penalties are, and that is the point of this exercise. In addition to stating that they despise Elon Musk and anybody who actually builds something positive for the world. No, 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 no. Go to the government, get your government dole, line up for your checks, because you're helpless and only the Democrats will help you. That is the message that they're absolutely conveying at all times, every day.